tragedy you are about to hear is the gruesome shark attack in 2003 that killed two friends off the coast of Florida and left a third one alive to tell the horrifying tale of their demise. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. This is one of the most brutal shark attacks to ever take place off the coast of Florida. Welcome to Final Affliction. Liam, Harris, and Samantha had come to the New Smyrna beach in Florida to make the most of their vacation. The three friends had met in college and got along because of their shared wanderlust and proclivity to push boundaries in pursuit of adventure. The beach was bustling with surfers, tanners, and volleyball players, but none of this gave them the adrenaline rush they were seeking. The place was also famed as a global hotspot for shark attacks, and Liam had challenged the group to spend 2 nights off of its coast in a small yacht. Despite some reluctance from Samantha, the trio finally took a yacht and sailed off a few kilometers from the shore. The first night spent on the boat was calm and serene. The water was beautiful, the moonlight brightened their night, and the silence drifted off into deep conversations. Samantha had brought steak and beef ribs for their time at sea, and the three friends savored the food and drinks on the yacht through the entire night. But unknown to them, there lurked a creature beneath the water that was drawn to the scent of the meat from miles away. The New Smyrna beach is a shark's favorite hunting spot. The great whites of the area were aware of human activity and had come to see them as potential prey. They are known as the most formidable shark species in the world, and one with a particular disdain for humans, as evidenced by the thousands of recorded incidents and fatalities. With multiple rows of serrated teeth that can grow up to 6 inches in length, a single bite from a great white shark is enough to tear through flesh and rip its prey in half. They can grow up to 14 feet long and are the apex predators of the underwater world, sitting comfortably at the top of the marine food chain. As night turned to day, it was the trio's last few hours in the water before they headed back to the beach. After an uneventful start to the day, the three friends yearned for the kind of exciting rush they had come looking for. Harris was hungry and asked if the steak from last night was still left. Liam nodded and picked up a plate to hand to Harris. Perhaps slightly bored, Liam decided to toy with Harris and threw him a piece of steak to catch. Harris played along and, in trying to catch the piece, fell into the water. He quickly climbed back to the boat, laughing. It seemed as though the trio found this an interesting play in the middle of the ocean, throwing each other pieces of meat and sometimes falling into the water trying to catch it. But they didn't know that they were creating the perfect storm for a disaster to happen. The commotion in the water, coupled with the scent of the falling steaks, alerted sharks nearby. Great white sharks have the most acute sense of smell of any marine creature, being able to spot 1 part in 10 billion parts water even from a mile away. The predator followed its way to the boat and started circling it underneath. The trio had no clue the danger they were in, while the shark swam under the surface trying to gauge the situation. Harris once again fell into the water while catching the meat. They were laughing and having a great time, but now the shark was directly underneath them. A few seconds passed with Liam and Samantha playing and laughing on the boat, when it suddenly occurred to them that Harris wasn't with them. They looked for him on the boat and peeked underneath, thinking that he was playing a prank on them. Then they saw the water a few feet away turning red, and this is when panic started to set in. When Harris was in the water, a great white shark had bit his thigh and pulled him underwater before he could even have a chance to scream. His cries for help were muffled by the water as he was torn to pieces by the shark, killing him instantly. Both now realized that something had gone terribly wrong. Liam put his head under the water trying to see beneath. He witnessed a 14-foot shark swimming towards him from under the water like a long torpedo. They had no time to process the gravity of the situation, as Liam quickly got back up and started the engine to turn the boat back towards the shore. The yacht was slow to pick up speed, and it was not long after that they heard a bang from the side. The shark hit the underbelly of the yacht, making it wobble back and forth in the water. Liam lost his balance and got knocked off the boat. Terrified and splashing in the water, he desperately tried to swim back and climb to safety. Samantha cried and screamed to Liam in helplessness, and then she saw a dreaded fin a few feet behind him. The shark had noticed another vulnerable body in the water and made its way back for another kill. As the fin approached closer near Liam, a huge gaping mouth emerged from under the surface, sucking in the water and pulling Liam closer to the shark. Liam was now inches away from the boat, but he was breathless and terrified out of his senses. That's when the shark bit him across his torso and in a single bite plunged its razor-sharp teeth deep into his flesh. Liam could offer little resistance, as petrified Samantha screamed and pleaded for help, but there was no one to hear her, and they were still several kilometers away from the shore. Liam let out a little squeal as the shark violently moved its head back and forth above the water, ripping Liam's body in half. The scene made Samantha numb from fear. She realized she was the only one still safe and frantically tried to steer the boat to the shore despite not knowing how to pilot it. She finally made it to solid land and let all her emotions loose after coming to grips with the scale of the tragedy. She had just lost two of her closest friends and watched them die in the most brutal and heartless fashion at the hands of a marine predator. She was grateful to have been left alive. There was not much that could be salvaged from the site to identify her friends' bodies apart from a few floating clothes drifting in the blood-stained water. The incident was an addition to Florida's history of gruesome great white shark attacks, and Liam and Harris were unfortunately just the next victims for this formidable sea monster. A story to remind us all that even while vacationing with friends, it can quickly turn to our unfortunate final affliction.